Shalom, friends, and welcome to Walking the Ancient Path, where we journey back into the language, landscape, and life rhythms of the Scriptures in a lighter, more accessible way, exploring the world of the Bible as its original listeners would have experienced it.
Today, we'll pick up our exploration of the book of Galatians verse by verse and unpack each passage within the context of organic ancient Hebrew thought, formatted like a living Hebrew commentary.
Let's pick up where we left off in Galatians chapter 4.
Verse 18. But it is good to be zealously affected always in a good thing, and not only when I am present with you.
But it is a good thing to be zealous, when the zeal is for what is truly good, and not only when I am there with you.
It is good to be zealously affected. Passion itself is not wrong. In Hebrew imagery, fire can either consume the tent or warm the entire clan. It depends on what fuels it, always in a good thing. True zeal is directed toward covenant faithfulness, love, and truth. Like fire kept on the altar, it must burn for Yahweh's purposes, not human pride. Not only when I am present with you, neither their fervor should not depend on Paul's presence. In imagery, children should obey the father's voice whether or not the clan elder is standing in the doorway. Paul wants their loyalty to be steady, anchored in Messiah, not swayed by who happens to be near.
Verse 19. My little children, of whom I travail in birth again, until Christ be formed in you.
My little children, for whom I am again in the pains of childbirth, until Messiah is fully formed within you.
My little children, a tender phrase, fatherly yet intimate. In Hebrew imagery, the elder of the clan speaks gently to the young ones gathered in the tent. I travail in birth again, striking maternal imagery. Paul pictures himself as a mother in labor, straining with pain until new life emerges. In Hebrew thought, covenant leaders sometimes use parental metaphors, but here Paul emphasizes the rawness of childbirth. Until Messiah be formed in you. The goal isn't just belief, but transforming your whole being to resemble the anointed. In imagery, like clay pressed into a mold, or a child's features developing in the womb until birth reveals them. Paul longs for their lives to visibly reflect Messiah's likeness.
Verse 20. I desire to be present with you now, and to change my voice, for I stand in doubt of you.
I long to be with you right now, to change the tone of my voice, for I am perplexed about you.
I desire to be present with you now. Paul's letter is heavy, but his heart longs for a face-to-face meeting. Using Hebrew imagery, the shepherd wishes to sit by the fire with the flock, not shout across the valley, and to change my voice. His tone had been sharp out of necessity. If he were with them, he could soften, adjust, and explain with gentleness. In imagery, the clan father wanting to set aside the rod and instead use the staff's hook to draw them close. For I stand in doubt of you. He is bewildered, uncertain of where their true position. In Hebrew imagery, like a farmer looking at a field, unsure whether the sprouts will produce wheat or weeds.
Verse 21. Tell me, you that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law?
Tell me, you who long to be under Torah, do you not listen to what the Torah itself is saying?
You that desire to be under the law. The Galatians were being tempted to submit to Torah as the binding framework of righteousness. In Hebrew imagery, willingly stepping back under the yoke of a master when freedom has already been granted. Do you not hear the law? Paul uses here, Shema, in its Hebrew sense, to listen with intent and understanding. Torah itself, when truly heard, tells a story that points to freedom and promise, not bondage.
Verse 22. For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman.
For the Scriptures record that Abraham had 2 sons, one by the slave woman and the other by the free woman.
Abraham had 2 sons. Paul draws directly from Genesis. In Hebrew imagery, 2 boys under one tent, yet representing 2 very different inheritances. The one by a bondmaid, referring to Hagar, Sarah's servant, Her son Ishmael was born according to the flesh by human effort. In imagery, a child born from human striving, not divine promise. The other by a free woman, referring to Sarah, Abraham's wife. Her son Isaac came through Yahweh's miraculous promise. In imagery, a child born from barrenness made fruitful by covenant word.
Verse 23. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise.
But the son of the slave woman was born according to the flesh, while the son of the free woman was born through promise.
Born after the flesh, Ishmael's birth was achieved through human effort, Abraham taking Hagar at Sarah's request. In Hebrew imagery, fruit produced by human hands like planting seed out of season. Born by promise, Isaac's birth was entirely by Yahweh's word despite the barrenness of Sarah's womb. In imagery, life emerging from dry ground at the sound of the covenant voice. The contrast, one child symbolizes the pursuit of fleshly desires, while the other signifies the miracle of divine faithfulness. Paul uses this as a pattern for the Galatians, to choose fleshly reliance or to cling to the promise.
Verse 24. Which things are an allegory? For these are the two covenants, the one from the Mount Sinai, which produces to bondage, which is Hagar.
These things are being spoken as a picture, for the two women represent two covenants, one from Mount Sinai, bringing forth children into slavery, and this is Hagar.
Which things are an allegory? Paul makes clear he is drawing out symbolic meaning. In Hebrew imagery, the story itself is a parable, a shadow pointing to deeper truth. Two covenants, Hagar and Sarah, represent two covenantal paths. One results in bondage, the other in freedom. The one from Mount Sinai refers to the covenant of Torah given at Sinai. In imagery, a mountain wrapped in fire and smoke with commandments etched in stone, which produces to bondage. Sinai's covenant made children bound under Torah's yoke. In imagery, a mother who gives birth but her children wear chains from the start, which is Hagar. The slave woman becomes the symbol of this covenant, birthing children who stay in servitude.
Verse 25. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answers to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children.
For Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and she corresponds to the present Jerusalem, for she is in slavery together with her children.
Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia. Paul links Hagar with Sinai outside the Promised Land. In Hebrew imagery, a mountain in the wilderness marked by law and fear, not by inheritance rest. Answers to Jerusalem, which now is the earthly Jerusalem of Paul's time, bound under Torah and Roman rule, is likened to Hagar. In imagery, the city meant for freedom has become like a slave camp, burdened with cords, and is in bondage with her children. The current Jerusalem, clinging to Torah as the source of righteousness, gives birth to children still enslaved. In Hebrew imagery, a mother and her offspring tied under the same yoke, unable to step into the inheritance of promise.
We'll pause here and continue in our next episode.
If you listeners have areas of interest you'd like to explore further, questions or comments, please don't hesitate to let us know.